Hello everyone and welcome back to Prodigal Overland. My name's Brad. If you're new here, welcome. In today's video, we're going to be looking at lines out on the trail. How do you find that perfect line? How important is it to find that perfect line? And how does your skill as a driver and the amount of throttle or acceleration you use, how can that affect your success or failure out on the trail? In order to do this, we're going to take you back to Roush Creek and look at some real world examples of finding lines and show you just how important or how much of a difference even just a few inches can make out on the trail. Another little side note before we get started on this is you see, if you watch our channel, a ton of Jeep Grand Cherokees, and that's awesome. But if you're sitting at home and you drive a Toyota or some other brand and you want to come out, you want to practice your skills, please know that is absolutely possible. We are not exclusive to Jeep or to Jeep Grand Cherokees. We love having them out and we're very familiar with that platform, obviously, but honestly, we would love to showcase the capabilities of other rigs and other brands and kind of be able to compare and contrast for you guys at home. So if you're sitting at home and you've been watching our channel, and I know for a fact we've got a couple Toyota guys watching, head over to our website and look at our events and feel free to sign up and register. We would love to have you guys out with us on the trail as well. So without further ado, let's get going. So coming up here, what you're going to see is just a section of trail where if you're in a platform like a Jeep Grand Cherokee, a WK2, a platform that doesn't really flex very much, is just enough off camber to kind of get a wheel or tire up off the ground and get you tippy. We were able to use this section of trail to really highlight that in an obstacle, there's often more than one way to go through it. In this obstacle that you're going to see, there's a way to go through it that was able to get the vehicles tippy and momentarily transitioning to two wheels even, and a way to go through it that was just a few inches off where all four wheels stayed on the ground. As you watch Jesse come down in his Jeep Grand Cherokee, you can see as soon as that front passenger wheel kind of hits the dip, he transitions very quickly to two wheels. As most of daily driving does not include being on two wheels, the first time you experience this can be a little unnerving. Coming up next here, we have Jamie and his Trailhawk, and he takes a line that's a little bit further towards passenger, which allows him to stay on the wall a little bit longer, and you're going to be able to tell that he is much more stable the whole way down.
We're not sure. Just a little.
Coming up here, we have Ray Ray is first going to take that line that keeps him high on the wall. You're going to see that he is nice and stable there. And then actually, because he wanted to experience feeling tippy, we're going to back him up and move him over just a few inches. And I want you guys to watch how much just a few inches out on the trail really affects how stable he is.
I had you on the wall higher, which is good. This is the better line. You didn't quite get off of that wall. If you want the tippy, back up and I'll show you the tippy. Just stay back. Did you guys see the difference in that?
Yeah,
so by staying on the wall, that's what I was telling you. It's no big deal.
Right. That honestly, that looked like cake.
All right, so stay there. Come a little bit driver. And get straight from there.
He's a little over more.
Okay, stop there. Feel that? So, what's your gut telling you to do? Just, yeah. So you can see if he does that here, he's going to lose the base he's got right here, right? But that's what everything in your driving is going to say, turn away from it. I want you actually to turn towards this. Now, do you see his front tire? Keep going.
It's more underneath him.
See how we widened the base up front? Okay, now nice and easy from there. Like that. No, don't come back.
So if ever you're in a situation like this where you feel like you're on two wheels or about to roll over, as you see me kind of walking right through this, is your gut instincts are going to tell you to turn away from that. You're trying to get yourself out of danger. Everything you've learned in driving on highway, on roads, tells you to do that. However, in this situation, turning away from that obstacle will actually take that base out from under you and make you more unsteady. So really, as you saw, I told him you want to turn into that tippiness to try to widen that base of support. And if you're feeling out of control, actually let yourself kind of roll with that. If you slam on the brakes in a situation where you get tippy like this, and you had any kind of momentum, slamming on the brakes is equivalent to asking someone to basically shove you from behind, shove your rig, and can cause that tip over to happen. The next obstacle that we're going to show you here is called Tip Top. That's in the northeast section out at Roush Creek. It's a blue trail. This trail has many kind of different paths up that you can take. Down at the bottom, there's a left and a right. There is kind of a main stair climbing area that you'll see, but there's bypasses to that as well. And the first thing we do when we get to an obstacle like this is walk it, see what we find, and kind of make our determination on what the appropriate line is from there.
So I don't know if you can see this, but there's lots of rebar sticking out here. So we got to be real careful of tires. That would not be a fun way to start our day.
What made this trail a little bit interesting is down at the bottom there was, number one, rebar on one section. The left side was a little smaller rocks. The right side up definitely had larger rocks, but both sides had very loose rock, so it was easy to kind of dig in as we go up, and you'll see that in some of the Jeeps later, or have too much throttle and be shooting rocks out the back and kind of getting ourselves stuck. After that first section up, you come to the main part of the obstacle. When I get to a situation like this where there's certainly that center section, the step up was too large for our Grand Cherokees to handle, you look left, you look right, and that's kind of what we're doing here, is trying to find a line that would work for the WK2 platform. Often when I do this, I'm looking at rocks. I'm trying to see where maybe rocks were stacked, where is there wearing on the rocks. You can often tell different paths that are frequently used and kind of evaluate which would be best for us.
All right. Do you want to come right over top of it? Okay, then you could go just a little bit driver and then straighten out. You got it. Checking those back tires.
So when you have a section of trail that's got really loose rock like this did, you want to be super gentle and easy with your throttle so that you're not accelerating too much and just spinning rocks out from under you, and then kind of digging yourself a hole. So that's what I'm doing here, just kind of easy up. Didn't need a lot of horsepower, didn't need to access the full throttle, anything like that, just nice and easy up over these loose rocks. And really, with that technique, we were able to easily climb the lower section without any issues, any difficulty. This again is Jesse. Jesse on that first section did just a great job of that slow crawl coming up. What we have found sometimes is folks have a hard time when they're going slow and they hit like an obstacle or a little rock or something that stops them. They lose their momentum and stop, and often when you do that, it's difficult to get it back. All in all, though, Jesse did a great job getting up and was able really to control how much throttle he was using, and really didn't struggle a whole lot.
Good work, Jesse.
Next up here we have Ray and his Trailhawk. Again, same line, same platform, and really the same upgraded tires as well. I think they were running the Falcon Wild Peaks. But look at his driving style. You're going to see kind of he goes, he stops, he goes, he stops. And that's that throttle management we're talking about. And because of that, he's going to kind of slip down into a rut and get himself caught up.
He's sliding on the rock. He's got both that side of the car is not getting grip. Yeah,
when it became clear that Ray was kind of more than just a little bit caught up, I went down and checked out, and his rear passenger tire, he had some rocks that had kind of been jammed up under there a little bit, and we ended up having to kind of stack some rocks, maneuver a few things to allow him to get the traction he needed. The more he was spinning tires, the more he was just digging himself in. And then once he got himself out of that, then we had the rebar sticking out of the ground. We had to make sure he was lined up correctly for.
Well, that back tire. Okay, good clearing.
All right, here we have Jamie working through and up the trail, and he actually also kind of gets stuck in the same rut that Ray was in and probably deepened a little bit for Jamie. So here's him trying to get up out of that. Another thing Jamie had working against him just a little bit was the stock tires he had on. He still had the original tires from when he purchased his Jeep, which seems like the tread was worn a little bit, and definitely I think the tire didn't perform quite as well as the others. We actually, as you saw, had to back Jamie down and give him another run at it. Between the tires and the ruts that he was trying to negotiate, it actually took us quite a bit to get him up past this section. And again, just kind of showing how even from vehicle to vehicle, if the guy in front of you has changed the trail a little bit, then even the lines need to shift. But anyway, eventually got him up without incident.
You know, if you talk through what you're talking about.
All right. There you go. You just got to give it some steady throttle there.
On this day and the day before, we had another group out. What really became apparent is that throttle management, the ability to kind of keep going, really is just a learned skill. It comes with time. You can be educated on it, but it really comes down to getting a feel for your vehicle and the trails, and just getting comfortable practicing. So here we have Kyle again in a Trailhawk. He does, I believe, have upgraded tires on his rig, and it really does a very nice job on the lower section, and actually probably would have made it the whole way up. You'll see here in just a second, I tell him the wrong line, misspoke, and actually I'm the reason he kind of gets caught up here a little bit.
Driver. You got it. Nice work, Kyle. Nice job.
So once we had all made it up the lower section, it was my turn to try that main obstacle. And although I had seen many videos online of this, I had never seen a Jeep Grand Cherokee WK2 do it. So this was kind of new territory for us.
Yeah, I mean, it really looks like you just need power. Okay, stop.
So we had tried this obstacle like I normally do, first kind of rolling into it with just kind of lower power, trying to see if we can crawl up it. We weren't able to get it done that way, and then I backed up and was able to clear it with just more throttle.
Oh, but your Jeep
and here we have Kyle again trying that main obstacle, and we actually, after seeing me do, I guess it would be the left side or the driver's side, we took him to a line we found far passenger that seemed to be a little bit easier.
If we can, then your driver I need up over here. More? That looks good. Maybe it touched as you come in. And now touch back. And you're going to start hitting now hard drive. You're okay. Hard drive.
Towards me. There you go.
Now hard drive.
Looks good.
Hang on. Let me see where you're at.
I can't tell that tree in the back. Let me see here.
Don't worry about the one behind.
No, you're good. You're good to go back. Keep going. A little bit more. A little bit more. That's just a rock I'm trying to get you off. A little more. Okay, stop there.
And then he's gonna put this tire in a gully. Yeah, he's gonna take a hard driver.
What's out in front of me? Like any obstruction?
You'll be well past the obstacle.
All right, nice work, Kyle.
And Kyle did a really nice job here with the throttle management. Again, trying a little bit lighter initially, and when that didn't work, being able to apply the correct amount of throttle to really climb that obstacle. Next up, we have a mud hole that if you watched last week's video, you saw us going through this hole. About this hole, on the passenger side, far passenger is what they call the green side. Coming back driver is supposed to be the black, or the much more difficult side, simply because it was supposed to be deeper. Now, we had been, obviously I had been through it a couple times the day before, and we flirted a little bit with the black side, but nobody had really taken a shot straight through it. And after going through the green and feeling underwhelmed, I decided maybe I should be the one to kind of go headlong into the black side to really see how deep it was. Coming back the opposite way, I was feeling still that it wasn't too deep, and that you'll see me kind of turn around and really give a run kind of far driver on this, and it definitely got deeper than I had expected. Last obstacle is one that we had done again the day before. You've seen it if you watched last week's video. This is off of Trail 11. This is a Jeep Badge of Honor trail. This is a bypassable section, so if you don't want to do it, you don't have to. We were super proud because actually everybody in our group this day actually did attempt it and did get through it.
You can tell him he's got a bolt loose.
What's he? You want a pic? So that's where you're gonna feel really scared. Turn a little bit this way.
All right, again we have Kyle, who was next up through it. Kyle also had a lot of protection. Most of his gear, I believe, is from Off-Road Animal. So you'll see the front lower guard. He's got the rear bumper going on, and I think the recovery points, and also had, I think, their skid plates underneath. But again, he did a great job coming through.
Feel your transitions and slow down so you're just not slamming.
Okay, we gotta get out of the way here. He's gonna come right up this line.
I think one of the hardest things about this type of obstacle is, and we stressed it with the people going through, is not to turn their wheel away from the tippy side. So when you start coming down, again, everything in you is telling you turn away from it, turn away from it. But again, in doing that, you're just taking your base away. So Kyle did a really nice job just keeping his wheels nice and straight, managing that throttle, and getting through okay. Next up we have Jesse. Jesse has a fairly stock Trailhawk. I do think he had upgraded tires. I think he was having the Falcon Wild Peaks, if I'm remembering correctly, but no armor. We had to take off his lower front fascia.
Yeah,
and
take
his
it slow.
cruise control camera at the start of the day, just to
You're
get
good.
things up front.
Slow.
But does just a really nice job through here.
Big drop. Good. Keep going, you're good. Okay. Coming up. Nice job.
Next up was Jamie, again in his Trailhawk. Now these are the stock tires, and as you'll see, he struggles a little bit more coming through this. And really, I don't think it came down to his management of the throttle. He has to actually use more throttle to get through it because his tires aren't gripping.
I'm gonna come up your way, sorry, so I can see them. You got it. Woo! Woo! Take it slow. Just slightly. Maybe try going passenger if that. Turn your wheels that way a little. There you go. You're there, you're there. Woo! There's one more up, one more up. There you go. Good job. Woo! Little slide, huh?
Then last up on this obstacle, we had Ray, again, a stock Trailhawk with upgraded tires, and you can just kind of see how he gets through it as compared to the stock tires.
Grabbing, right? Not as much.
No.
This is the mud was getting caked in the tread.
Little bit driver. The crazy thing though, even when you're
Good. Little driver to the center.
It's awkward.
Okay, and then straighten up.
I had so
Straight
I
up.
was carrying more momentum,
Yeah.
so I was like, ooh, gotta slow down.
You're good. Just take it slow. Good. Nice and slow. Good. Nice. Good job. Nice job, Ray. Go straight up that hill.
All right, guys, hopefully that video was helpful. Hopefully we were able to show you just how important finding that right line is, and just the skill of throttle management and being able to use an appropriate amount of acceleration and throttle in the right circumstances, how that can actually lead to your success, or in some cases cause more damage to your rig. Anyway, hope you guys like this video. If you're not yet a subscriber, consider hitting that subscribe button, and we will see you guys again real soon.